Okay, welcome to Team Call Tuesday. We have a special night tonight because we have a little bit of an interview panel. I hope my internet stays okay. I'm a little worried now. It cut out yesterday. I think I'm good now. Okay, so announcements that we have going on right now. We are also in quarantine or social distancing, JK, but seriously. So I don't know. I haven't posted in my team page yet, but I did see from Brigida that they are going to do a virtual summit. So yay! So the same weekend that summit was originally, so July 16th, the weekend of July 16th. Yeah. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So similar setup. There'll be an opening ceremony, a closing ceremony, and then sessions, recognition, Beachbody Challenge night. So I don't know what that's going to look like. I'm sure we'll do something fun and teamy and it'll be great, but I'm really excited that they're doing something because Summit is so fun. And if we have to do it virtually, I still want to do it. Besides that, I don't know if what's the plan for Super Saturday, if they're just going to do something virtual again. But Mixed Berry launched yesterday. So hopefully I didn't even try to order yesterday, you guys, because I'm impatient, and it seems like when they do a launch, everything is like pretty backed up and like the system always kind of goes wonky because I'm impatient, so I just waited till today. But what else? I am starting my challenge group on June 1st. So if you need a place to invite your challengers to, you're welcome to that. If not, talk to your upline coach and I'm sure they have a group for you. Besides that, I don't really think we have anything else. So let me tell you about what tonight is. So Brenna and I collaborated with other like diamonds and star diamond coaches in our like bigger family team, so in Brigida's team, and we came up with what we called a diamond internship, so people who were pushing to get to diamond. And this training was past the basics, I would say. Like, it wasn't about like, how to do your tracker and things like that. We were talking about inviting and the 4 vital behaviors and mindset, because you guys, like, literally that's all you do. You do the 4 vital behaviors for forever. There is no like, oh, you go to this next level training and they teach you about like step 2 as a coach. No, it's all the same. However, it was more about leveling up necessarily than about getting started. And there was nothing fancy about it other than the trainings that were required, and you had to turn in your tracker every day or have some kind of communication about your tracker to your coach every single day. So it's just like really intense accountability and things like that. So we had, we posted in our team pages and we had people apply, and then we chose people who, I don't want to say that it was like, there was no magic equation. It wasn't like, oh, you had to have X amount of coaches, or for me at least, and I'm pretty sure for Brenna the same. It wasn't like you had to have X amount of coaches or you had to have X amount of Success Club points the month before. It was really about who already had a grasp of the Success Club tracker and that was ready to level up. And in that application you applied, and it was kind of like, why do you need this right now, or why should we choose you? And I'm telling you this because we're going to do another one, and so I just want you to know the process of what it is. It's not like so it was just, it's very individual, and it was really cool. We really got to know our girls even on a deeper level. I think they got to know us on a deeper level, and a lot of the coaches. So basically we asked the 5 of them to each talk for like a couple minutes and just share their takeaways. I didn't like give them like a script or anything like that, because everyone is going to share like what impacted them the most. And they just have the floor to kind of share about it and about like what they got from it, not necessarily about it, like you're not sure about the trainings, So whoever wants to start, just unmute yourself and we'll just go around.
It's all right, I'll start because I have babies and I might have to jump off. Can you guys hear me okay? All right, perfect. So I didn't talk with any of the girls before this, so I hope
Who are
I'm not
you?
Oh, hi, I'm Madison Kevorkian. I am one of Sam's coaches. I am an Emerald coach, working really hard to become Diamond. I decided to do this internship because I'm home right now. I'm working from home, even though I'm with 3 kids. I've got 5-month-old twin. Actually, I'm sorry, 6 months old today. 6-month-old twins and a 4.5-year-old. So I'm kind of a crazy overachiever, and I do well when I throw a crap ton of stuff on my schedule at once. So I thought, why not try to level up my business while in quarantine with 3 kids and my husband, yeah, who counts as a 4th kid, and my job working from home and trying to keep sane. So I talked to Sam and I was like, can I handle this? And she was like, I think you can. So I did it. It meant calls a couple nights a week. It meant calls, in the mornings. It meant checking in every day. But I would say that the biggest thing I took away from it and what worked the most for me, I'll tell you, I did not hit Diamond during the internship, but I came really, really close. I ended up with 7 coaches underneath me total. And for those, I think everyone knows what Diamond is, but you need to have 4 coaches on each leg, and then 2 of those coaches need to be Emerald. So is it 10 coaches total or is it 8 coaches total? I can't remember. So it's 8, yeah, right? 2 Emeralds, 4 coaches on each leg. Correct. Yes, perfect. So I came really close. I got 7 coaches total, spread across my 2 legs. And one of them wants to become a working coach, so she's been selling, but I'm really close. I can taste it, and I feel very successful from what I did. Even though I didn't hit that main goal, I did all of those. I signed all of those coaches in 1 month. So that was, except for my husband's account, that was a pretty big deal for me. And what worked the most for me was relationship invites versus just like blind invites. In the past, I've been going for like a numbers game and really reaching out to a ton of people, which works for challengers a lot, but for coaching, it's not going to work. Most of the time, you're not going to reach out to somebody blindly who does not know who you are and invite them to coach with you and have them be like, yeah, let's do it. They don't trust you yet. They don't know what that means. So because it was a coaching invite, I had to kind of change my perspective and become more of that relationship builder. I did a ton of reach outs that were just like, how are you? How are you handling this? How are you dealing with quarantine life? How are you handling your stress? And from that, I started kind of pulling conversations from people who just needed something in their life. They needed the workouts for themselves, but they also maybe really just needed a community. So I just saw a complete shift in the way that my business was running. I wasn't just reaching out to blindly get mass invites. I was building friendships and relationships and feeling really pumped about the people who were about to sign up with me. Sam said in the past that, she would get her eye on somebody, right? And she was really excited for that person to join her team. And I started feeling that for the first time. It was like, ooh, this girl, I'm going to keep talking to her and I'm going to keep talking to her and I'm going to keep talking to her until she signs up with me because I want her on my team. PSA, I did take Energize before this, so I'm a little jazzed up. And it's 9 o'clock at night. I don't know why I did that. But that was my biggest takeaway, was the relationships, building that in. And we also had an affirmation that we said that kept our mindset going. So I would repeat this over and over again about I was adjusting and growing and sharing my gift to build my business to Diamond. And I would just keep repeating that to myself when I felt like I wasn't going to get there. So if you think that you want to do this, know that you might not hit the big goal at the end, but you really, really can. And there's nothing stopping you but yourself. So I highly recommend everyone to do it. It changed me. It changed me a lot. And now I'm going to stop my Energize craziness and go on mute again.
I can go next if you guys want. I'm all hyped. I was getting excited. I could not take Energize tonight because it's 9 o'clock. But hi guys, I'm Shayna. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the crazy kind of redhead that's always putting way too many TikToks up. I have my girls with me here tonight because they wanted to see me come chat. So I want to say hi. Say hi, girls. Okay. Enough about me. So the Diamond internship was something that kind of opened me up more than I thought it would or realized it would. If you aren't sure about doing the Diamond internship, I would suggest opening up the application for it and reading through it, maybe even writing down the questions and writing down your own answers if you're too afraid to submit them. Hi, that was me right before. I was too afraid. It's fine. So the application process really made me think, made me dig a little deeper. We have our trackers here every day, right? And we write our why up here and who we want to appeal to. But I think when you get a little deeper, it makes you think a little differently. So from the application process to the actual push, in the push I had to be really vulnerable. It was not easy for me to do that at first, but it came to a point where I was really struggling. I didn't even get any SC points, but it was something I had to own because I had taken a little bit of a hiatus where I was posting workouts and not having as many conversations, and it's okay, we all do that, but I had to really learn through being vulnerable that we've all felt that way. So if you think you've found community now in your fit camps and with your fellow coaches and with your fit campers, it is next level to go through a Diamond internship with some of your fellow coaches. So the vulnerability that comes out and how you're there for each other just was a game changer. And then the failure. So I am not great at goal setting, not great at coming up with my vision. Kudos to all of you that are. I don't know if anybody else here is aware of what the 4 lenses are. My husband is a really high orange, so he's like a dreamer and an adventurer, and he's like so excited about things, and I'm super, super blue, so I'm just always worried about how everybody feels. And so dreaming is not something that's come easy for me, but I can tell you from the moment I filled out that application to started being vulnerable with our team and just starting to really compound, putting one foot in front of the other and seeing how far I could get, right? It's like our workouts. If you get your tracker out and you check some of the boxes, okay, you might have did a little workout today. At least you showed up, right? But if you get your tracker out and you hit every box and you go all the way down and you know you were intentional with each of those, you're lifting with big weights, right? You're going all in. I know this is an analogy we can all kind of understand. So understanding that you can put one foot in front of the other, can you tell I'm nervous? And keep going and see how far you can get, even if it's not exactly on your timeline. And then feeling, oh, okay, I didn't quite hit it, but it didn't disappear. And my hunger for it is more than it was before because I've learned so many things along the way. So don't be afraid to fail and don't be afraid to dream. If you're one of those people that's like me and you want somebody to relate with, please always feel free to reach out because I was really struggling with just my own head, and just going through the application process helped me really clear out a lot of that. So that's what that meant for me. I feel tighter than ever with some of our coaches. I feel like I can lean a little harder on the days that are tough, and I feel like I don't have to hide from the celebrations on the days that we fly high. So I highly recommend it. 2 thumbs up.
I can go. I'm Rachel. I'm one of Sam's coaches as well. I definitely would echo what Madison and Shayna have both said. I think that being on this team because of who's brought us here, we feel like a kinship with one another. And then being in an accountability group like this, where like Shayna said, like, you have to be vulnerable and you need to show up every day. You have to turn that tracker in every day. Really brought us a lot closer for sure. It was a group that not only worked hard, but I think it was really important for every single one of us in there to know that each one of us had a struggle. And we found that we all had very similar struggles. But then none of us allowed any of us to sit in that struggle. It was like, okay, you feel like crap, okay, go for it. Like, keep going, use that, like whatever it is, like just make connections, just talk to people. And And I think that was really, really helpful, especially because it was daily. I mean, we were supposed to turn in our trackers, what was it, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 5 days? Oh, 7. Well, it had 7, but we had to have 5 days, right? Whatever. It was a lot. It was like the most consistent tracking I've ever done week to week to week. It's like sometimes I'm like, okay, I got my tracker. I'll fill it all out. I'll print the next one. I'll like remember on Sunday that I haven't started it yet. And this was like, no, you have to fill that out. There's an accountability there. I also really liked the affirmation, creating our own affirmation. I think, I can't remember what mine was. I like wrote it out all pretty, but it was basically something like, I was evolving in an ever-changing world, shining my light to become the diamond coach I can be by whatever the date was. And we said it every morning. We voxered each other every single morning, and all of us said it. And sometimes it was like, God dang it, I'm gonna be a freaking diamond coach. By the grit of my teeth, I'm gonna get there. And it was just nice. I mean, I think the greatest thing about Beachbody is this community and having these girls to like lean on hard and struggle with, but also like run hard with was really amazing. In this crazy time, in the time that this started, not out of nowhere, but I had a girl who I had been talking to for close to a year, who I knew, who started with me in like, I want to say in February. And she was like, we talked all the things, and she was like, okay, I'm just going to sign up for 3 months of BOD. And I was like, fine. But I had tried. I was like, fine, let's just do this. And so within the first week, she was like, I knew I was going to do this. I want the full package. So we switched her around. Then comes Diamond internship, and boom, this girl is like emerald overnight. Like, this is actually Michelle, the one that you guys see in the post. Like, she just like boomed. So not only was I like working for my goals, but then I was really put into a place of like, how do I coach a coach? Like, I'm still learning myself. But I really felt like being in that group and staying accountable, I could turn some of those things back to her. And because I was so busy, I was also able to say, have you looked here? Did you check here? And giving her the power to find that. And so all within that, I also feel like I learned to, when I sit down to do my business, I learned to sit down to do my business like I'm the CEO, the way that I feel like Sam and Brenna have both said. But I didn't know what that meant. But I got to a point probably about 3 weeks in where I was like, sitting down, I had my phone, and I was like, okay, so do I just like look for people, or should I like follow up, like go through my DMs? Like, it just was very like, bleh. So I did some soul searching and figured out a way that like when I sit down to do my business, that tracker is absolutely what you need to follow. But I was tripping up over each thing. Like, I don't really want to go, like, do I go creep on Rachel Hollis's page and look for people? Like, that gets monotonous in my opinion sometimes. So finding that and figuring out how I was going to go about my business, how was I going to do this? And I would say the last thing is that I came out of it with feeling like, okay, like I'm owning my business, and I'm not following people anymore to beg them to be on my team. I refuse to be desperate for people to be on my team. I want people who I love, because that's what this team represents for me. And it's not that I'm trying to be judgy by their Instagram, but there are definitely things that are like, we might not get along so hot, or they're on their own journey, or whatever that might be. And I have learned to let that go, unfollow and move on. Whereas before I was like, ooh, like maybe if I just like said the right thing, maybe they'd follow me. Yes, bless and release, Danielle. So anyway, so those are what I had written down. I'll shush because I feel like I just babble.
Do you care if I go vegan? I'm Danielle Rossone. I'm also one of Sam's coaches. And I will tell you that when I I'll tell you a couple things. So I started coaching technically, I think like February 24th of 2019. I did Transform 20 and loved it. And I was like, ooh, I need to be a coach because I know myself. One of the things I do really well is I get moving with something and then I'm like, oh, I know how to do this. And I drop like every support possible because I know everything. And then I don't do it. I don't do any of it, right? Like none of it happens. And so I was like, if I am a coach, then I know I'll be accountable on my own journey, right? Like working out and eating well. And so the first, I don't even know, few months, I was like, what is all this? And all of a sudden things were launching and I had no idea what was going on. And probably, I remember distinctly, August, I was talking with a girl I went to college with, and she's like, hey, I'm just going to sign up as a coach. What can you send me? She was asking me like what kind of protein was in Shakeology. And I was like, I don't know. I don't even drink it every day. And I was like Googling it and like searching it. And all of a sudden I had a coach and I was like, oh my God, this is great. And it like, she literally fell in my lap because she happened to know me already. And she was a personal trainer on the side, like previous to this. And so it's like, she saw the value in working out and being healthy. And then I was like, okay, this is going to be wonderful. And everything's just going to fall into place. And I'm like, I'm going to invite 300 people this month and I'm going to do this. And, and I was doing the things without ever doing what Madison was talking about in terms of relationships, right? Like I was talking to some people and I felt like there was a handful of people I was getting far with in terms of relationships. But most of the time I was just like, hey, I saw you watching my stories. Hey, like join me, come see what I'm doing. And so I decided in January that it had been a year of my own journey. And I was like, I have to make this my year. And, January 1st, I'm going to get like way deep. January 1st this year, a really good friend of mine passed away. 34 years old, like just dropped dead, and she would laugh that I said that. She was the best, but it like threw me in a ringer in January. And then February, I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go Team Cup. Like we're going to be like rock stars. And then March hit and like the world fell apart. And I was like, I spent like 3 weeks doing nothing towards my business. Yet I bet if you looked at my page, like Shayna was saying, you wouldn't have known I was doing nothing behind the scenes, right? Like I was posting workouts, I was putting up pictures and posts in my feed, but I wasn't talking to anyone. I wasn't doing anything. And when I saw the call for the Diamond internship, I was like, I'm not going to get picked for that. I was like, I'm going to apply and I'm not going to get picked. And then I'm going to be like depressed about it. And they're not my real friends. And why would they pick me? Right. Like, so like all this negative self-talk of like, why me? Because at the time, I wasn't an Emerald coach. I had one coach, Michelle, who joined me in August, who kind of does her own thing, like she's not like, she doesn't bleed Beachbody, and I just signed my husband up and I didn't realize that I signed him up on the wrong leg. So I had two people on one leg instead of like evening it out, right? Because I was like, I'm going Emerald in February. And then I was like, I didn't go Emerald. And like didn't realize it, and I was too afraid to ask like, am I Emerald? How do I know that? And I didn't want to go look for myself. Like I just wanted it to magically happen. And I remember just looking at it and I'm like, you know what, Danielle, like you said before the year started that this was going to be the year you were going to do it. And you can let all those other things hold you back, or you can just do it like you said you were going to do it, And so I remember writing in my application, like, I need the accountability. And that's something I've learned about myself on this journey. Like, if I don't have people holding me accountable, like just knowing that someone is waiting for me to do X makes me do things. And so that was one of the things I put in there. And that's what I feel like I got like times 1,000. And I remember our first call with Brigida, who's like Sam's upline, right? Like she's up there, like was a 15-star diamond coach. And she showed us like the financial aspect of the business. And she was going through like how you can earn money. And I was like, I will never make that kind of money. Like that's overwhelming. Like, I'm just going to barf right now. Like I can't do that. And she wasn't like unapproachable in her approach. It was numbers I've never seen before in my life. And it scared the shit out of me. And then I was like, I really don't know why I'm here, right? Like, why am I in this thing? And what I feel like this gave me more than just like, I'm turning in my tracker, right? And I was actually doing my tracker. I didn't do it in March. Didn't really do it in January. And so it was turning in a tracker, but it was also realizing that like, even if I didn't become a diamond coach, which I didn't by April 30th, 2020, I still was worth becoming a diamond coach, and that my worth, right? Like I remember Sam distinctly saying like, your worth is not on the line. And I needed that separation for myself because I felt like if I didn't do this, then it meant, hey, you're still not good enough, Danielle. You know, like that mentality just kind of kept creeping back in for me. I feel like if you're someone who feels like you need confidence in yourself, push yourself to do this because you're going to invite more than you've ever invited. I never invited to coaching before joining the internship. I was like, I remember Brenna doing a call about like, well, you just sign up as a discount coach. So it's like the VIP discount, you know, like you can get them signed up as a discount coach early on in the process. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if I even want to touch that, like with a 10-foot pole. And I don't know if, I think it was in here and I was trying to look through my notes of some of the calls, but it was either that or in a recent national wake up call. But one of the women said something about if you don't ASK, you don't GET. And I was like, oh, right? Like if you don't ask someone if they want to be a coach, they're never going to get a coach. And so I just felt like this was the perfect thing to push me further in a place that I've never been. I also did not become a diamond coach. The goal is May 31st. I have signed up 2 coaches this month. I've hit Success Club already this month, and all of that comes from the work I did last month. And so the best part of doing this internship isn't necessarily that you're going to get the end result at the end of it, but you're going to be closer to that end result and way closer than you ever have. And so I now have a new goal of 1 star by July 23rd. And I used to like, I'm getting sweaty saying that, but it's really the most doable thing. Like I even was just talking to my sister today, who I signed up as a coach, so I'm an Emerald. And I was like, I might grow your account to diamond. And so you're going to have to get the money deposited. And maybe that could be how I pay you for childcare. And like all these things, you know, because it's not, I used to think that it had to be perfect. I had to have all these people and it had to be like the right people to do it. And it doesn't have to be that way. And 8 people sounds like a lot of people. It still sounds like a lot of people. But it's so much easier than you think that it is if you're doing the steps every single day. And I thought I was, and I was not.
Thanks, Danielle. I have to tell you, I adore following your story. Like, I love watching your stories. You make me laugh every day. So I have a little girl crush. So my name's Megan. I'm one of Brenna's personally sponsored coaches. I tracked Brenna down on social media about 2 years ago. I have done probably 3 rounds of Diamond Push now. This was the closest one I'd ever gotten to. So real talk. I qualified for the Success Club trip, and when you qualify for the Success Club trip, you still have to make Success Club. You can't just be like, oh, sweet, I've got a trip, and opt out of your business because they will uninvite you. And I don't know, I guess I didn't read the fine print. And so Rachel and I were talking in March, and I was like, holy crap.
I have to get Success Club 10 by the end of March. And Rachel's like, yeah, you can do it. Just push. We'll get there. And Rachel totally got it. And the world fell apart and I didn't. And so here comes April. And so April 1, I'm like, oh, well, there goes my Success Club trip. Oh my God, that sucks, because I put it on social media. I told the world I was going. And then here I can't go now. And I was super bummed. And I felt extra bad because Madison and I signed up for the same wave together. And I was like, now I'm sending Madison by herself. So I had all this like extra anxiety and stress that I didn't get it. But Beachbody recognized, again, amazing company, had recognized that the world fell apart and kind of gave everybody an extension. So if you could make your Success Club points that you needed for Q1 in Q1 plus April, then you could go. So starting the April Diamond push, I only needed one more coach to put under my sister, because Danielle, I'm doing like you are. So my sister, I'm running money through my sister, mainly because she needed it. So she's gonna, she's my next like account that I'm doing. And I needed one more. And I signed up 6. I got to Success Club 12, but then somebody dropped like the week, like she signed up. I thought I was good. She was my last one. I texted Sam. I said, Sam, I got the t-shirt. And then she dropped. And I was so upset. I was like, and I think it was in the final week. Like, no, you can't drop. Like you, so, no. And I was like devastated. And I had this like weird fire. Someone had said like, you have this like gut reaction and fire in your belly of just like, I have to reach this goal. I have to reach this goal. And what am I going to do in order to get there? And the Diamond internship really helped me open, Sam and Brenna have said this a million times, but open office hours, like business hours, like be my own boss and show up for my company, my business, my girls, like I said I was going to. And so doing that, I was able to still get my trip. I was able to reach it, get the t-shirt, get all the cool things. And like, who said it? Rachel or Danielle? Like I am having a follow-up from last month's reach outs. Like people are still interested and people just needed more time to think about it, I guess. So we've talked in the past about how it's a 3-month out business, but it super is a 3-month out business because it takes you a long time to decide. It's not like we're selling Avon, right? Like we're not selling lipstick. We're not selling mascara. We are selling a lifestyle change and investing in yourself. And nobody wants to invest in themselves. And it takes a long time for someone to be like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I am more. I am made for more. And I deserve to feel good. And that mentality shift is so hard because you can't, and this was another thing. I wrote this down. See, I wrote it down. That was one of my big takeaways because you can't wait for somebody. Here I was the last week and then somebody dropped and then I was like, I don't know, Brenna, how many girls were like, yes, send me a share card. Yeah, I'm down, can't wait. And then nothing. And I was like, girls, like, why aren't you checking your messages? Can you not tell that it's the end of the month? Like, and so literally the last day I was able to call people who have been watching my journey for 2 years now, who've been interested. And I finally was like, all right, let's go. Are you ready? And they were like, yeah, I think I am. And I was like, what? Are you sure? So I'm like, Brenna, they said yes. And it was this crazy rush. And it just was it was a really good experience. So I didn't hit diamond. Cross your fingers, I might be diamond by Thursday. So I've like made all my accounts active. Like I've got all of the things to make it work. But I'm waiting on 2 people to decide. So I'm like in limbo again. Like, girls, don't you know I'm on a deadline? Come on. So I didn't hit diamond, but I'm hoping to pretty soon. My goal for the end of the year is 2-star. I will go to New Leader Conference, and this is just the beginning. And I love these diamond pushes because it holds me accountable to other people, to y'all, holds me accountable to other people and to my business. And like, I've decided I'm going to do this. I've said it. And I'm that type A person where I'm like, well, now I have to do it because I said it. Like my bathroom remodel, like I tore off the wall, like now we have to finish it. So I feel like that's kind of where I'm at, and I love these little pushes and I want to do them. I told Brenna the other day, like I could see this being my life. Like I really could see this being me forever, and like how you can do this and how you can build forever. And all, like, if you don't have to teach, thanks COVID, if you don't have to be at school all day, you really could do so much stuff. And like I probably was giving 4 to 5 hours a day to actual business building, like a weird pro of Corona, but I was here for it. So I abused my time a little bit, and I'm thankful for it. And I just looked at the clock and realized I talked for a long time. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. I'm here for it, and you guys should do it too. All of it.
I'm glad you abused your time. That was wonderful, and really gave me a lot of feels, actually. Like, I don't know, Brenna, did you get some tingles? Like, I got some, like, my armpits are sweaty, like, in a great way.
Can I add one more thing?
Yeah.
Sorry. Can we go back around? I got more. No, I feel like one of the biggest things, like sitting here thinking like, okay, if you are going to apply, or you're like the inner mean girls that we all have, and you're like, oh no, like you can't do this, whatever. It's going to show you that we all tell ourselves that we're doing it. Like, I have my tracker, I'm doing the things, but until you have that crazy accountability and you're going for that goal and there is nothing that's going to get in your way, like Megan said, like, like this, I'm coming for you, then that's when you see what consistency looks like. I could tell you that I was so consistent all these other months, but I promise you the most consistent month of my business was April 2020, because you have to show up unapologetically. Oh, you go next.
Well, so halfway through April, Brenna and Sam got this idea that we would host one of the calls and like have a panel discussion like this call. And so Brenna tells me, she's like, hey Megan, so whatever happens, like she's trying to be very like peaceful about how my worth is not tied to my achievement. Whatever happens, I just want you to know, like, we're gonna do a call on it, and we're gonna talk about like what was successful, what wasn't. And I, like, in the back of my head, I was like, no, like, you can't make me go on this call and tell everybody I didn't reach my goal. Like, no. So while I didn't reach diamond, which I'm okay with because hey, guess what? May's here. But I needed to reach Success Club trip. Like, I was going to make that happen, and I was going to do it hell or high water, because I did not want to tell all of you all that I failed. Weird accountability.
You get a taste for success. That's like my biggest thing. I say Sam all the time. I'm like, I need one small piece of success and it will like propel me. And mine was the Success Club trip too. I got the invite and I was in the same spot as you. I had, I think, 2 points for the year, and you need to have 10 by the end of the quarter. And I was like, I remember telling Sam, I was like, well, I'm not gonna, I said a ridiculous goal. I'm like, well, there's no way I have to hit it by the end of this weekend or I'm not signing up. And I hit it by that weekend. It's like, you get that. And that's what this diamond called the diamond internship did for us. It was way more intimate than any of the diamond pushes I've done. I've done like 3 as well. And on those 3, I don't think I signed anybody in those other pushes. But this time it was like, okay. And we all became a really close-knit like group. To every single win we had, we celebrated it. And I think that was another big piece, is that you build a friendship with these people that we didn't have before. But you sign one person in this diamond internship, and I guarantee you, you are not going to want to stop. Because one person, everyone on the team is like, yes, you're doing it. You can't stop. We got this. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, crap, now I cannot stop, and I'm going to do the damn thing, and I'm going to be diamond. And it's just all the tingles.
Yes, like so much. Yes. So I don't know if you guys took notes. I took a lot of notes from their takeaways, even though I kind of had a front row seat. So I thought I knew what they were going to say, and they said different things. But I really want you to take away that you don't get to skip the work. Okay. So I just like, if you think, well, I don't know what to do yet. I don't know what to do. You just have to start, and you have to fail forward, because then you never know. You never know. Like, even myself or Brenna, we don't know what the F we're doing. We just decided to start and to figure it out and to fail forward. And so for the first time we had to go and find followers, we probably only found like 1 or 2 because we had no idea what the F we were doing. So when you guys come to me and say, what do I do? You have to just take a step forward, and you don't get to skip the work. And that was the point of the diamond internship of, hey, we're just doing the work. Like, that's all we're doing. It's just the work. Now, if you're super like, yeah, I'm in, like, this sounds great and magical. Hi, baby. No, not right now. We don't have a diamond internship necessarily starting tomorrow. So this fire that you're feeling, you can replicate what we did. It's just the tracker and accountability. So look at who's on this call. Who can you message and say, hey, can I send you my affirmation every morning? You know, like, can we message or whatever? Find a success partner in this business, and then stop it, baby. We will have one on the calendar, but to TBD. Brenna, I'm sure you want to say some things too.
I just want to say you guys are so amazing. Like, I'm like, okay, can I go work now? I'm like, it's fine. I'll stay up till 9 o'clock tonight. No, but I will say this, like, because Sam and I, we did the group for our own businesses at the same time as all of the girls, because essentially this business is going diamond over and over and over again, going emerald over and over and over again. So like she said, we're doing all the same things. But I will say this is the first time I've been in a diamond group where I'm like looking in at the girls who are doing this push for diamond specifically. And I was blown away because every single one of them at different points in the group had self-doubt. They had struggles. They had like a lot of people say no. They had a lot of people ghost, and they had a lot of tough responses. And every single one of them continued to show up and continue to do the work and continue to lead one foot in front of the other, like Shayna said. And that to me is what represents a real business owner. It's not about hitting Success Club 50. It's not even about going diamond. It's about being a business owner on the days when it's hard, when you are unsure of what you're doing and you do it anyways. You go, you open your store and you're like, I'm here and I'm putting in the work every single day without the knowledge of knowing that you're going to hit the goal or not. And that's what this really proves to me as somebody who is one of the coaches in this group. But like, you know, Sam and I have done a lot of pushes in the past, but this is the first time I think that we got to sit in with a hardcore push with our girls. And it is like a make or break thing. Like Megan was saying, you get that feeling in your belly. It's like a make or break on what type of a person, of what you feel about this business. And every single one of them showed up and proved, not to us, but proved to themselves how they really feel and what they're willing to do to be successful as an individual and as a business owner. And that's the stuff that I'm always in awe of. Those are the type of women that I will lock arms with hand in hand through and through the good and the bad, is because their business was number one, even when the world was falling apart, even when it would be easier to let the spiral take over, or to say, no one has money right now. Everyone lost their job. How could I possibly invite? And every single one of you had probably your best month that you've had in a long time. in April, and I see that same work happening in May. And once you rip that Band-Aid off of working really fucking hard and pushing in a way that you've never done before, then when you go and look back at what you were doing before, you're like, no, I can do more. I can do better. This is my business. I have to do bigger and badder things. And so, yeah, highest volume ever. I agree. So I'm just really proud of you ladies, like on so many levels. And as this team grows, the more and more people I see who have that heart to do more and to be more, and who are willing to get uncomfortable to do it. And that's really what this business is. It's not about not failing. It's not about not doing the hard. It's like failing and doing it anyways and continuing to move forward. So you guys should be really proud of yourselves. I was really blown away by all of you. And I'm really excited for the to be determined one coming up in the next little bit, because I think that we're going to have a lot of new faces there, but more and more we're going to see the leaders have their own teams and their own coaches there. And that's the coolest feeling ever for me. Yeah. The last week, I know Megan, poor Megan, man. I was like, if it makes you feel any better, this happened to me too. But it would have been easier to give up, and you guys didn't, all of you, for various different goals, and pushed really freaking hard. So proud of you ladies. I was really excited to hear this call because I just wanted to hear and like Sam, I thought you guys were going to say certain things that were different than what you said, and your different personalities. It's so funny the difference that you guys all pulled from the same group with the same training. So I love it.
Can I just add one last little thing?
You already got to add. I was going to add. I'm the only one who hasn't gone.
I'll text you at 4 tomorrow morning.
Ew. Stop it.
I wait till 7, Shayna. I wait till 7, but I could do it at 4. I think it's hard when you hear, I don't know, if I'm trying to think of myself reversed, right? Like if I was watching this, there's a little bit of me that would be like, yeah, okay, they can do that. Yeah, okay, they can do that. You know, like, and it's not even that, because there were so many times where I'm like, why am I in this group? You know, like there was like a whole first week there where I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but okay, I'm, you know, like, and so don't count yourself out. And even if it's not, you know, there's not a group currently, but like do the things, do the tracker, really get to know people. If all you do is send 50 messages like, hey, how are you? How was your day? How's your kid? How's your mom? Right? Like some lady I talked to, she had COVID 2 months ago. I'm like, how are you feeling? How are your lungs? Like, how's it going? Are you thinking you want to be healthy? Like, and it's not like in a negative Nancy kind of way, but it's like, girlfriend, like you could have died. Like, how are you? I have the total solution, and I've been sending that total solution video. But like, don't count yourself out, because even if you think you can't do it, you will make yourself do it, and you'll grow through it. And that's, I mean, the best gift you can give yourself, for sure.
She took the words right out of my mouth. She just stole them. No, I really just wanted to say to everybody that took the time to let us open up to you a little bit tonight, I appreciate that. Making some room in your schedule I know is precious. And I know we all felt the making of the time in the schedule when we had to be accountable to that tracker and turn it in. And I know it sounds like a really big commitment, you know, there is a little bit more of your time, your energy, and your intentionality. But I really do honestly and genuinely believe that it puts you in a place where you can kind of shit or get off the pot. Like, you're like, okay, am I going to go for this? Like, go for this the way I've been talking about? And you're still going to have days of doubt. If that's one thing I've learned, you're still going to have days where you're like, what did I decide to do? And then you're going to say that out loud to the people that you're with. And then you're going to realize like, oh, that's right. I just have to keep going one foot in front of the other. And then as soon as you talk to someone, I swear it's like this weird, like karma or some, I don't know what's the right word, cosmic energy that just comes right back around. But it's really good. And it's super good. So just do it. Okay. But I just think that it offers you the opportunity to look at yourself the way that Danielle was talking about. Like, it really helps you with your growth. And so take a moment. if the application is still up there, I'm not sure if it is, but that really helped me to just like look at my bigger picture and go, okay, and really start to decide to move forward, because it is a decision. So know that the days of self-doubt are going to be there. That's not going to go away. You just get better at bouncing back up from it. And this, I think, taught us how to do that in a lot of instances and how to rebound quicker. And that's something that I'm super grateful for. So if nothing else, I'm like, huh, at least I can take care of me better now, because I know I can fail and live. Look, I'm here to tell the story.
You guys are amazing. And yes, and I like how you all were like, can I just talk one more time? It's just, you're just so our people. If April was not your month, your worth is not on the line then. Your worth is not on the line if for whatever reason, we'll call it the summer diamond internship, because, to be determined. That doesn't matter. We're going to do this again because it was so incredible. And you can decide right now, tomorrow, to start your own I'm showing up for me no matter what. So let's take a pic, and with all the feels, and our Tuesday night. Can someone take it? I have Cannon.